This show didn't scare us because it was loud, it scared us because it was quiet. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Didn't explain itself, it didn't hold your hand, and it didn't care if you were ready. And that's exactly why it stayed with us. For a lot of us, it wasn't just a kids' TV show, it was the first time television trusted us with fear. No jump scares, no jokes, no moral lessons neatly wrapped up at the end. Just the understanding that some stories are meant to unsettle you and then leave you alone with that feeling. Every episode began the same. A group of kids, a fire in the woods, a bag of dust thrown into the fire, and suddenly it felt like you weren't watching TV anymore, you were being told a story directly. So today, I want to talk about Are You Afraid of the Dark? Not to rank episodes or chase nostalgia, but to understand why it still works, why it stuck with us, and why the 90s kids' horror trusted its audience in a way that modern TV doesn't. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. Let's go back to the dark. There are some TV shows from your childhood that never really leave you. They live rent free in your brain forever. They're not just memories, they're little flashy tours of fear, excitement, and those nights you swore something was watching you in the dark, or there was a monster under the bed, or that creepy china cat your mother had that you insisted on putting a blanket over. For me, that show was Are You Afraid in the Dark? This was the show that taught me how to love horror. Not slasher films, not blood and guts, real horror, the kind that whispers, not screams. And it's wild to me how well this still holds up. Let's start with the obvious. The intro alone is iconic. You get the matchstick being struck, the wind, the chains clanking, the campfire lighting up. Every time I hear the line, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, my heart rate would go up just a little. It wasn't just a TV show, it was like joining a secret club. And that's what made it different. The framing of the kids around the campfire telling stories to each other made it feel real, like something you could be part of. And because it was kids telling stories, you believed it more. They weren't adults talking down to us, giving us a moral tale. It was like your friends at sleepover, except the stories were probably way better. Although I think we all scared ourselves with a torch at a sleepover, right? What made Are You Afraid of the Dark work so well? It was simple. It didn't treat kids like they were too soft to handle fear. The show could be genuinely creepy. It didn't wrap everything up in a nice little bow. Sometimes the bad thing wasn't stopped. Sometimes the monster won. And as a kid, that was terrifying. But it also made it more real. That's something a lot of modern kids' horror doesn't do. It's too polished, too safe. This show had teeth. It trusted us to handle a little darkness. Now, let's be real. Everyone still has their episodes. That one that really got under your skin? I've got a few, and honestly, they still make me shiver. The Tale of the Ghostly Grinner. Blue face, ink dripping, that laugh. As a kid, this was nightmare fuel. But it wasn't just how the Grinner looked, it was the idea that he could turn people into creepy, smiling versions of themselves. That hit different. Losing control of yourself. Even as a kid, it's a scary idea, and the show didn't explain it away, it let the horror breathe. The Tale of the Dead Man's Float. A swimming pool with a ghost. Red water. We all remember this. I couldn't swim at night after this episode. Not even in broad daylight without thinking about it. The genius of this one is how normal the setting is. It's not a creepy castle or a haunted house, it's a school pool, a locker room, your school. A place where kids actually go, where we spent time, your after-school swimming club. That made it so much scarier. It made it feel like your world wasn't safe either. The tale of laughing in the dark. Oh yeah, Zebu the Clown. Pilot episode, and honestly this came out swinging. I'm terrified of clowns, and probably to do with this episode. Funhouse, clown, creepy laugh, cigar smell. This was that clown episode that traumatized half a generation. What made Zebu terrifying wasn't the clown itself, it's that it followed you. You could leave the funhouse, but he wouldn't stay behind. That idea that scary things just don't live in one place, it made it unforgettable. And it worked. The writing in this one is really good. There are a lot of episodes I could pick to put on this list, but I thought I'd just give you 3 that just stick in my brain. Watching the show now, a few things really stand out. First, they used atmosphere like pros. The lighting was dark, the sets were simple, the sound design did half the work. And I mean that. Grainy 90s television, probably shot on budget cameras, but it worked really well. Second, the stories had layers. Sure, there was a ghost or a monster, but underneath that, a lot of the episodes were about the fear of growing up, being isolated, guilt, not being believed, which I think is a terrifying thing for kids. And third, the pacing. This didn't rush you in to show where the monster is. They let the dread build. Empty hallways, silence, that awful sense of something just out of frame. Your brain did the rest, and honestly, your imagination is always scarier than special effects. There's also just something about the look and feel of 90s TV. The slightly grainy picture, the awful fashions, the fact that you had to catch it on TV when you could. You couldn't just binge it whenever you wanted. It created a vibe. You sat there in the dark, heart pounding, wondering why you decided to watch this before bed. And weirdly, that part made it so much more special. For a lot of us, Are You Afraid of the Dark was a gateway drug to horror. Before late night slasher marathons, before horror movie sleepovers, this was that little Nickelodeon show that said, hey kids, want to be scared but in a fun way? And in the UK, it was on Saturday mornings on ITV. Seriously, that's a scary way to start your Saturday morning. It gave us permission to enjoy being afraid, and I think that's something that a lot of media for kids now is scared of, scaring children. It taught us something a lot of adults still don't get. Fear isn't always bad. Sometimes it's exciting, sometimes it's fun. What I love the most looking back is how much respect the show had for its audience. It didn't talk down to kids. It said, yeah, you're kids, but you're not fragile. It gave us horror wrapped in campfire stories. And that's why even decades later, people still remember it. They watched it, they go, wait, that's actually kind of creepy. If you grew up with Are You Afraid of the Dark, chances are you got your own Zebu, or your own pool ghost. It's one of those rare shows that scared the hell out of us as kids, but somehow left us grateful for it. It made us love stories, made us love the dark, even if we slept with the hallway light on for a while. So here's to the Midnight Society, here's to grainy 90s horror, and to the show that whispered, be afraid, it's fun. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. I call this story a deep dive. If you watched this show growing up, tell me, which episode haunted you? And if you've never seen it, maybe watch it at night with the lights off. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one for more nostalgia. If you guys enjoyed that, remember to hit like and subscribe. This is the Board Archive, and I'm Darv James, and I'll see you in the next one.